Good evening, Internet. The Real Shroom here, and tonight I'm trying out the pre-modern format on Magic the Gathering Online for the first time. Now, if you look back at my channel's history, I played a lot of formats besides Standard. I played a lot of Modern and Pioneer. I've mostly been playing Standard lately just because I have real problems with the card pools of both of those other formats. But you know, Standard is good. I like it. It's fun. But especially as a jank brewer who eschews a lot of cards, it's a little hard to brew three new interesting, viable decks every week in the same format. So I want to kind of branch out. I still have my manatraders account lying around, so I figured why not give Premodern a try. I've been watching videos and it looks pretty fun. So let's take a look at some Jund B-Sad control in Premodern. Okay, so first of all, what is Premodern? Premodern is the format that is kind of sandwiched in between Legacy and Modern. The legal sets start at Ice Age and end at Scourge, I believe. So, like, none of the stuff from the very, very early sets is in the format. No Power 9, no True Duels, and nothing after that. Like, it's a closed format. There are no new cards being printed into the format. There's no Planeswalkers. There's no Shocklands. There's no fetchable dual lands. So that's a key difference from Modern right there. The card pool is like this weird mixture of like powerful and like janky older cards. So it should be like a slower format than Standard is these days, and a much less powerful format than formats like Legacy and Modern, just because a lot of the power doesn't exist in the sets that exist in Pre-Modern. So what are we trying to do tonight? Well, we're trying to do what I try to do with every format when I try out a new format, which is recreate the first deck I ever played on a Magic the Gathering video game, which was this, you know, Jund deck that had like Hypnotic Specters, Lightning Bolts, Disrupting Scepters, Stone Rains, Strip Mines, you know, coupled with like Moxen and Black Lotuses, of course. So it's like make you discard all your cards, blow up your lands, burn you in the face, you know, fireball you, lightning bolt your creatures. And so it's basically a total resource denial deck that's seeking to like kill all of our opponent's stuff, make him discard all of their cards, etc., etc. I'd like to try to recreate this deck in every format, and this format, Pre-Modern, actually preserves some of the OG cards that were in that original brew, including Hypnotic Specter, which is a legal card in this format. Disrupting Scepter is also a legal card, by the way, but I couldn't bring myself to actually put that in this deck. I kind of feel guilty that I didn't. So anyway, we've got good old Hippie Specter here, and we've got other cards that synergize with our plan of taking away everything our opponent does. Like here are the Stone Rains to destroy their lands. Here are a couple of Pillages to assist further with the land destruction, and also can destroy artifacts. We've got Duress to hop on the discard bandwagon. Now, Thoughtseize is not a legal card in Pre-Modern. There isn't even like a Pilfer in Pre-Modern. There's Brain Maggots, which is about the closest you can get, but the only 1 mana discard. Well, there's the Cabal Therapy, I guess, but I don't really know Pre-Modern well enough to like try to run that card. I've played all of like 3 matches so far. So Duress is kind of like the best Thoughtseize-like card in the format. And another thing about Pre-Modern is the creatures are very weak at this period in Magic history. You know, at this point, the spells were all really broken, and like the creatures were super duper bad, as we'll see when we get to our threats. So Duress, I think, is actually just a really good card in this format. That's what we're running 4 of in the main board to support our plan of making our opponent discard stuff. We're also running some more discard tech in these Stupors, which are just a mind rot, but they make one of the cards that is discarded be discarded at random. So like the Hypnotic Specter that make our opponent discard at random when they hit our opponents, we are going for a bit of random discard, which is really powerful, actually. And then we've got a one of Pain and Suffering, which is just one of these dual cards for 1 mana sorcery. Target player discards a card. 4 mana sorcery, destroy target land. If you can play both for 5 mana to make our opponent discard a card and destroy a land. So that's what our deck likes to do. We're running a 1 of. And then, of course, the another component of these B-Sad decks is burning our opponent in the face. So we've got our Lightning Bolts, a legal card in Pre-Modern, and we got a 1 of Fireball as well. Just old school Magic Bernie goodness. Another thing about pre-modern is the mana bases are very bad. As I mentioned, there are no fetchable dual lands. There are like ally colored fetch lands, Bloodstained Mire and Wooded Foothills, for instance, but there's no Stomping Ground, there's no Blood Crypt, there are no fetchable dual lands. So, like the best dual lands you can find, you're gonna get that come into play untapped are the Pain lands. So, that's why cards like Birds of Paradise are going to be really useful to our deck to help us fix our mana, as well as these Rampant Growths to help us fix our mana further. And we're playing a couple of Dark Rituals as well, which is a pre-modern legal card. Only 2 of these, just for the nut draw potential of like playing a Hypnotic Specter on turn 1. Just got to have Dark Rituals in this deck, I think, just for fun and to have that potential there for a really crazy opening hand. So as I mentioned before, the threats of pre-modern are a bit lacking. So we do have a couple of threats that outside of our Hypnotic Specters that kind of synergize with our plan. They're not like great or anything, but they're kind of like the best we're going to get. There's these Ebony Tree Folk are just 3 mana 3/3s. It's hard to get a 3 mana 3/3 in this format. They have an additional ability for a black and a green. They can get +1/+1 to the end of the turn, but really, we're just playing them as 3 mana 3/3s. We want to have some kind of a clock, more than just like Hypnotic Specters and Lightning Bolts. So we need some beaters, and these are filling that role. We're also running a one of Lavaborn Muse as a threat. This is a 4 mana 3/3, but it's also like a rack at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that opponent has 2 or fewer cards in hand, that this creature deals 3 damage to that player. So it's like a good rack effect that punishes our opponent for having few cards in hand, which they should with all of our discard. And it's also a 3/3 that can attack cost 4, but with the rack stable to it, I think it might actually be good for this deck. And then we're running a couple of these Argothian Worms, which are 4 mana for a 6/6 trample. Now, when they enter, any player may sacrifice a land to have this go on top of our library instead of onto the battlefield. But the idea is, since we're stone raining and pillaging and pain and suffering our opponents and wastelanding them, they shouldn't really have lands to sacrifice to this, in which case it's a 4 mana 6/6 trample, which is actually pretty good. Even, by modern standards, it's not bad. It's not terrible. So I think this is a good card for this deck because opponents really should not be able to pay this cost. So that goes over the creatures of the deck. Aside from our birds, they're like pretty mid, they're more expensive than they should be for what they do, but they're synergistic with our overall game plan. And then we've got just a little bit of supplementary interaction. We got one of Terminate, again, which is a great removal spell, actually. I'm really glad this card is legal in the format, because the pickings for creature removal outside of this card are pretty bad and expensive and slow. But Terminate is a great creature removal card. Just 2 mana, destroy target creature, can't be regenerated. Problem solved. Of course, we've also got our Lightning Bolts and our Fireball. One final piece I do want to mention before reviewing the mana base is this one of Abundance. Since we are like a 23 land mid-range deck, I always like to include something to help us look at additional cards. I think this is actually a good card. It's a 4 mana enchantment. If you draw a card, you can instead choose land or non-land, and then you'll search up the top card of that flavor into your hand. If you choose land, you'll reveal cards until you draw a land. If you choose non-land, you'll reveal cards until you draw a non-land and put the rest on the bottom of your library. So I think this is actually a really good card selection card. I have it in one of my commander decks, and I think it's a good fit for this deck as a card selection piece, which is, again, there aren't really a lot of really good ones. We're trying to use this card and our mana base to help us with this to the degree possible. Speaking of the mana base, there are 23 lands, which is enough with our birds and our Rampant Growths and Dark Rituals to support the mana value of our cards. As previously mentioned, mana is really bad in pre-modern. Most decks are like 1 or 2 colors for this reason. We're going 3 colors just because, it's our first stab at it, and we're being very ambitious here. So we've got these 2 shock lands, which cannot fetch any dual lands at all. We've got 3 wastelands as a way to hate on non-basic lands. These are just strip mines for non-basic lands. We have a 1 of Rishadan Ports, which we can tap for 1 mana to tap a land during like our opponent's upkeep or untap phase to keep them off of a mana for the turn. And then we've got a bunch of pain lands to just help us get our mana. We've got 1 of each of these cycling lands, which are just single color lands that come into play tapped, but we can cycle them for 1 mana or 2 mana in the case of the black one for some reason. Just for a little bit more card selection in our mana base. And then we have a 1 of Treetop Village, which is actually a pretty good creature land. It only costs 2 mana to transform this into a 3/3 ape creature. So yeah, a little bit of an extra clock in our mana base is appreciated. The sideboard contains 3 engineered plagues. So goblins and elves supposedly are very common archetype in the format. They're very powerful tribes. There aren't many good tribes in pre-modern, but elves and goblins are 2 of those tribes. So I'm always packing these. I love Plague Engineers. 3 mana enchantment. You choose a creature type. All creatures of that type get -1/-1. So we'll board all 3 of these in against those tribal decks. Then we got some graveyard hate in the form of 2 Planar Voids and 2 Tormod's Crypt. Planar Void is a 1 mana enchantment. It's like Rest in Peace. It only costs 1. Whenever another card is put into graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. It doesn't exile the cards that are already in the graveyard, though, which might mean that it's not good enough. We'll see. But we do have 2 Tormod's Crypt, so we can board up to 4 graveyard hate pieces. Tormod's Crypt, of course, is just a 0 mana artifact you can sack to exile an opponent's graveyard. And then I've been getting wrecked by like parallax waves and replenish a lot. So we're running some hate for that. A couple naturalizes can destroy artifacts and enchantments. Tranquility is this 3 mana sorcery that destroys all enchantments. This is a very old school card that I'm happy to play again. So we'll see if we can keep those parallax waves from wrecking us. We also have a 1 of Pernicious Deed, which is kind of a cool sweeper on a stick. It's 3 mana enchantment that you can pay X and sack it to destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with mana value X or less. So good at sweeping up lots of artifacts and enchantments or like small creatures. And we got a 2nd Terminate in our sideboard for matchups where it's good. We got a 1 of Pyroclasm for matchups where it's good against weenie decks. A couple of Pyroblasts, which is a legal card in pre-modern. That's so sweet that you can play this card. Just 1 mana instant speed, counter target blue spell, or destroy target blue permanent. Of course, Hydroblast also exists to do the reverse to us, but we're running 2 Pyroblasts in the sideboard to hate on those blue decks. So that is the plan with B-Sad Jund Control in pre-modern. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I've only played a total of 3 matches so far just to get Moto back into my fingers and make sure this deck is, like, technically playable, which it is. I really don't know what to expect. I'm just going to play some matches on the practice queue for my first run here of pre-modern and see how things go. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to trying out this new format and a bit of a calmer, slower pace than like standard, where if you don't kill a badger mole cub on turn 2, you basically lose the game right away, or modern, which is even worse in a lot of ways. Anyway, let's get some matches on the practice queue of pre-modern. If you like off-meta MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Okay, Hota Ruby will be our first opponent here, playing some pre-modern. We're going to be on the play with some Jund B-Sad control. And our very first draw is a 1-lander, which we have to mulligan, sadly. Here we have 5 lands plus Stone Rain Fireball. We also have 2 wastelands, so we can really hate on their lands pretty hard. I'm gonna keep this and bottom Fireball or a land. If I'm gonna double wasteland them, I probably want to keep my land, so I think I will actually bottom Fireball. Opponent also mulligan to 6. Okay, so we'll lead on our Urborg Volcano, which is just a Rakdos tap land. Strip Mine is not legal in pre-modern, but Wasteland is. Okay, there's a treetop village. Bolt. Yeah, I think we'll just wasteland the treetop. I guess the play, okay, they have a windswept teeth. It's funny to me that a format with older cards like this is actually like a lot slower than than standard. Okay, let's play our Llanowar Waste. We'll pass. We have bolts up. We can also cycle this polluted mire. Opponent does not fetch. I mean, there's no like shock lands, so it's not like you need to fetch end of turn to save life or anything. Okay, they don't have a second land drop. Well, let's cycle our polluted mire. Okay. Opponent's gonna hold off on playing their second land. Opponent plays another treetop village. Alright, I think we'll cycle this Forgotten Cave as well. We draw Pillage. There's a Hypnotic Specter. Do we want to Stone Rain or Hypnotic Specter this turn? I think we want to Stone Rain. We'll also play a Wasteland. Opponent's got a basic, which we can blow up with our Pillage. Alright, here comes the fetch. It can't be a non-basic, so we're not going to be wastelanding it. It's a forest. Sylvan Library. Okay, we draw a treetop village. We could pillage them again, or we could play our Hypnotic Specter. I think I like playing this Specter at this point. Oops. Black, whatever. Oh no, it's double black. Double black plus colorless. Good old hippie Specter. They have their Sylvan Library, though, which is scary, so they get to look at up to 3 cards. It does cost them a lot of life to draw extra cards. Okay, they kept 1 card. They drew 1 extra card off their Sylvan Library. There's a Bop. And a Wall of Roots. Okay. Can add a lot of green mana. Let's go ahead and bolt the bird. Stone Rain is our draw. We don't have quite enough mana to crew up the Treetop Village and Stone Rain. So let's just Stone Rain their white mana. Get in with our Hippie Specter. Make you discard at random. They discarded Monk Realist. When this creature enters, destroy target enchantment. 1/1. Okay, sure. That's a realist. Opponent gets to look at 3 cards. How does this card work exactly? At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put the card back on top. Okay, so they look at 3. And then for each one beyond 1, they have to pay 4 life. Very old card. They choose not to draw anything. More Wall of Roots. Okay. Well, green mana is not going to be a problem for them. Spike Feeder. Well, there might be some infinite combo. But they probably need white mana to do it. There's a bird. Alright. Just gonna attack with Hippie. They discard Kamal, Fist of Krosa. Target land becomes a 1/1 creature at the end of the turn, still land. And then for 5, creatures get +3/+3 and gain trample. Okay. I think we'll play our own bird. We'll pass. Wall of Blossoms. Okay. Well, it's going to be hard to get in attacks on the ground. They attack with their Spike Feeder. We could bolt it. That's okay. I think we'll just take 2. We draw a Tranquil Thicket. Okay, we'll certainly be cycling that. I could fire up the Treetop Village and attack. They have all these blockers. Like, I could go them into blocking with 1 creature, then bolt it. But I don't think that really accomplishes that much. So I think we'll just attack with Hippie Specter. They discard Genesis. At the beginning of your upkeep, if this is in your graveyard, you may pay 3. If you do, return target creature from graveyard to your hand. Okay. So let's cycle this Tranquil Thicket. Pillage. I don't know. We got double pillage. We might as well blow up some lands, I guess. Like, blowing up a plains or a forest doesn't really do much to them. I guess it hurts them a little bit. Sure. I mean, we got these pillages. What are we going to do? Not pillage? Seems like we should pillage. So are you going to pay 3 mana at the beginning of your upkeep? No. Well, it is good they have to make that decision before they can do other things. Okay, they did not draw any additional cards. Here comes the Spike Feeder. Sure, we'll take 2. Duress. Okay, let's duress you. I mean, the Hypnotic Specter is going to make them discard whatever it is anyway, so... Oh, it's Squee. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return it, so... Sure. They're going to lose Squee. All right. I mean, we're going to keep hitting their mana just to make sure it's as low as can be. So they can gain life off of this. They can choose to get back Squee, which they do, of course. Do they want to pay for Genesis? So I think they've got to be a survival of the fittest deck. I think that's what you do with Squee. Okay, so they are going to play Kamal. They took that back to their hand. Yeah, like every match that I played, this is match number 4 of Premodern I've played so far. Every match that I played has involved a deck using the graveyard. So They took Kamal Fist of Krosa back into hand. So this guy, he's a 6 mana 4/3. He can turn lands into 1/1s, and he can overrun their whole team. So their hand is Squee, Kamal, plus 1 unknown. Yep, we'll take 2. Opponent can gain 2 life off of this. Like at any point, basically. Rashad in port. That's kind of good. So we'll set a stop on our opponent's upkeep to use our port. They discard their Kamal. Okay. So they get their Genesis trigger. As soon as I get a chance. Now they are going to buy Kamal back. Okay. Hey. It's a non-basic land. But they won't fetch, of course, until they need the white mana. There's a bird. Well, they're at 5, but virtual 7. I think I need to bolt the bird. Because we don't want them to block our Hippie Specter, and we don't want them to have colors of mana. Urborg Volcano. Not what we're looking for. All right, attack with Hippie. They discard Squee, which basically means they didn't discard anything effectively. So we don't know what their last card in hand is, because Kamal is in the graveyard. So their hand is Squee. It's going to be Squee plus 2 unknown. As soon as we get priority here, okay, they're going to put Kamal back into their hand again. No, Bird of Paradise. Tap their fetch land. They get in Forest, which they'll use to play their bird. Come on, deck. Give me like my lava-born muse or my Argothan worm. Or Fireball, actually. Fireball is the best draw, I think, because that's just lethal. Survival of the Fittest. Yes, they're Survival of the Fittest deck. Who knew? Ugh, we just draw land, dude. OP Specter. They actually have to sack their Spike Feeder. It doesn't really matter what they discard anymore. Squee. Alright, play another Volcano. Okay, Survival of the Fittest trigger. On my end step off their Wall of Roots. Spore Frog, so they're just going to start fogging me every turn. Eventually, I'll draw a Fireball. They got back Spike Feeder. Right, because they only needed to remove one counter from it for 2 life. Tap one of your forests. So I think they've got a Spore Frog. There's birds. Yep. Well, let's just draw Fireball. How about that? Okay, they're going to attack with their Spike Feeder. Okay, we'll block. I shouldn't have used my Wasteland to activate the Treetop Village. I should have used Sulphur Springs. Because now if they play a non-basic land, I won't be able to kill it. Alright, they just sack their Spike Feeder to gain life. Dark Ritual. That doesn't help us. Alright, attack with the Specter. They just fog, sure. Yeah, we don't have any graveyard hate in our main board, unfortunately. So they're just getting back their Spore Frog. Tapping all their lands. They're going to run out of Walls of Roots here in a moment. Corian Ranger can bounce a forest to untap a creature once a turn. Okay, gonna untap their bird. Opponent has 6 minutes left on their clock. 6.5 minutes. Spore Frog. Yep. How about Fireball off the top? Stupor. That's not very good. But we'll cast it, I guess. Sure. Black. Whatever. Make you discard. Deranged Hermit. And Squee. Attack with our Specter. Well, I don't know what this says about the pre-modern format of this game, because this has been a pretty boring game, and our opponent, there's no way our opponent's going to be able to win this match with 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Sure, you fog us again. So they pay to get their Spore Frog back. Yeah, I think this our opponent's just going to time out. Spore Frog. Yep. Why did I not? I guess I skipped tapping a land down. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Fireball? How about a Carplucin Forest? Attack. Hanging on by his fingernails, but there's no way, it's impossible for them to win the match. Sure, like they're blanking my attacks, they're making it so that I don't accomplish anything. They're not actually getting ahead themselves, and it's impossible for them to win. Oh, we'll see if they bust out a WidCon in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That still wouldn't win them the match, but I wonder if there is any end goal here. Survival of the fittest. Yep. Reveal a creature. Sylvos Rogue Elemental is an 8/5. Trample Regenerate. Who costs 6. Okay, so we will tap one of your forests. Gonna survival of the fittest again. Rufelos. Tap for 1 green for each forest you control. Windswept Heath, gonna go get that plains. Or something. Fails to find a forest or plains. Are they out? Out of fetchable lands? Korean Ranger gonna untap the bird. There's that guy. He's an 8/5 trample. They don't have their Spore Frog available this turn. Can I draw a Bolt? Or a Fireball? How about a Carplucin Forest? They discarded Rufelos. So opponent's going to time out before they do anything. Sure, we'll block with our treetop village. And our opponent times out. Okay, pretty boring game, honestly. NPRAWD Zik2 will be our next opponent. Playing some Premodern. Little B-sad Jun control. Look, we've got a bird. We've got a 3/3 we can play on turn 2. This looks like a keep. We even have our colors. So yeah, let's just play our Llanowar Wastes. Play our Bop. Phyrexian Furnace. Exile the bottom card of target player's library. 1 mana. Sack this artifact. Exile target card from a graveyard. Draw a card. Okay. So we could ramp, but I think I'd like to just deploy this threat. So play our mighty Ebony Treefolk. It's a 3/3. Can pump it +1/+1 for a green and a black. So sure, let's attack with our Ebony Treefolk. Yeah, we'll use its ability. Hit for 4. Boom, opponent takes it. Then we'll... Oh, I should have wastelanded there. I really should have wastelanded. A little rampant growth. What do we want? I guess... Another swamp? Because we have a wooded foothills to get our mountain. Yeah, we'll get another swamp. I really should have wastelanded there. Okay. Pillage, that's a good one. Let's wasteland the City of Brass. And exile the bottom card of my library. And tap for white mana. Okay, and then let's pillage your... Let's attack first. Attack with our tree folk. Let's activate its thing once. Oh no, I did it all wrong. No, okay, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I was about to say, I don't have double red for pillage, but I do with my wooded foothills. It's been a while since I played, but I've already made my land drop for the turn. Oh, I screwed up big time. I really screwed up. Okay. Well, we can cycle this polluted mire. But opponent's got nothing anyway. Okay. So what are they doing over there? I really have no idea. It involves artifacts and blue mana. So Pyroblast, Naturalize. Maybe Terminate isn't going to be that important. Maybe cut a bolt or two as well. Cut one of our Argothian worms. Let's try this. Okay. Opponent mulliganed. We have a turn 2 duress because of our tap land. We've got pillage. We don't have green mana, but we'll find it. I think we're going to keep this. This looks like a keep. Thawing Glaciers. Search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Return the land to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next... What? Return this land. Okay, so this continuously, like, fishes lands out of your yard. I see. Out of your deck. I remember that card, sort of. So we really want to pillage that. We drew untapped green for turn 1. That's good. But I think, actually, what I want to do is duress... Counterspell, disenchant, standstill. Fact or fiction. Their standstill deck. They don't have access to blue mana at the moment, but they are going to. I think I'll take standstill. And we'll play Treetop Village. So their Thawing Glaciers gets bounced. Reflecting Pool, so they now do have Counterspell mana active. Okay. Fireball. Well, I think I'll just start beating down. Attack for 3. I could have played my Urborg Volcano there, since it's probably not urgent that I play Lightning Bolt this turn. Another City Brass. Sure, let's just bolt your face. Play our Volcano. Fire up our Treetop Village. Attack. Fact or fiction. They're playing Disrupting Scepter. Mishra's Factories, Wasteland. So an opponent chooses, separate them into 2 piles, put 1 pile in your hand, the other in your graveyard. Okay, we don't want them to have the Wasteland. So I think we'll do it like this. You can have those 3 lands in Disrupting Scepter, or you can have your Wasteland. Which did they take? I'm guessing they took the 3 lands, right? Yeah, Mishra's Factory. Disrupting Scepter, sure. Okay. Queue up the tree shop village. Attack. For 3. I think we'll... They've got 7 cards in hand. We know they have a counter spell. Like, do we care if they tap 3 mana to Disrupting Scepter us? I'm just gonna pass. Wooded Foothills. Those are artifact creatures. So it costs 1 to make it into a 2/2, and then the other one can pump it. So I guess we'll activate our thing. We'll attack. And then this one can make it 3/3, right? So I guess we'll go for a naturalize, which they can counter. Mana leak. So we trade. Oh, they can tap to make it to give itself +1/+1. Oh wow, that's broken. Okay. All right, I probably should have gone for a pillage before making that attack. I didn't realize it could do that to itself. Okay. Sure. Gonna make me discard. Okay. I guess we'll just go grab a forest, because we can. Stupor? Stupor you? They discarded Disenchant. And Mishra's Factory. Okay. I could try to pillage their Disrupting Scepter. We know they have a counterspell, though. So that's not going to work. Disrupting Scepter. Sure, we'll discard Pillage. Gaia's Blessing. Hey, what's up, Speeper? Shuffle up to 3 cards from their graveyard into their library. Okay. Yes, some pre-modern be sad. I don't know if we can beat what they're doing. We need a good draw here. Okay, that's a good draw, I guess. Ish. Are we going to get got by the Disrupting Scepter when I didn't include Disrupting Scepter in my own brew? That would be fitting, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know they have a counterspell in their hand. I can try to pain suffering them, which will get countered. Then I don't have enough mana to fireball or anything afterwards. I could just pain them, make them discard. I don't know. I feel like I need this fireball to win, so I guess I'm just holding on to pain suffering to get discarded. Ugh. What the heck? We're just gonna cast it. How do you even do this? You can cast both, right? Oh no, they're both sorceries. Okay, so you can only cast one or the other. Okay. Okay, so we'll go for suffering then, I guess. They let it go. So then we'll fireball you for 1. Why can I not cast this? Choose 1 or more targets. Okay. We're done choosing targets. There we go. Fireball X equals 1. Standstill. Do I think Magic is the highest skill ceiling game out there? I don't think so. I think we can't win from here because we know they have a counterspell. So they have all their mana. Yeah, they've controlled us, so we can concede here. Is there anything we can change? Let's get our Gothian Worm back in. And our Lightning Bolts. But actually, we just don't have good cards for this matchup. Enough good cards. Yeah, I think actually we do need to cut one on our Gothian Worm because we don't want to get locked. 1 bolt at least, I guess, has to go. Yeah, I mean, let's just try this, run it back, and just try to do better, I guess. Mage Wars is weird. I think Mage Wars is maybe a more skill-intensive game than Magic, but it's more unbalanced in a way. We have Hypnotic Specters, which are really good, and we have 1 black mana. Stone Rain's also good. We're gonna keep. It's hard to argue. I think it's hard to argue with chess being a really skill-intensive game in a way that other games aren't. How about a Dark Ritual off the top? Or Duress? Lightning Bolts. All right, we'll just bolt your face. Can you draw a black source? Stupor? How about a 3-drop? Okay. Disrupting Scepter. Okay, we draw a shot in port. I guess we'll Stone Rain. We can't Hippie Specter. Might want to start setting stops for that. Opponent's just going for the Scepter. Okay. We have a tap land. All right. Play Stupor. You discard 2 cards at random. They discarded Hydroblast and Mishra's Factory. Just gonna disrupt us some more. Okay. Sure, we'll discard this worm. Wasteland. Yeah, let's Wasteland the Reflecting Pool. We'll let that mana go away. Then we'll play a Hypnotic Specter. Mishra's Factory. Just all disrupting Scepter all the time. Okay. Sure. Bird of Paradise. Sure, we'll play it. Attack with our hippie. They have a plow. Yep. Yeah, let's tap down one of your lands. Yeah, there's just some mages that are just way better than others. We have nothing to do here. Disrupting Scepter. They're just happy to do that. Every turn. So this is another thing I'm a little worried about, is like in a format where the creatures are really bad. Okay, we just don't draw any relevant cards. I'm ready to scoop this up because this is going to be a super boring game. So we got by the Disrupting Scepter deck. Dang. That'll teach us. Yeah, in a format where like the creatures are really bad, does that mean that like blue-white control just rules? Maybe. Okay, we've got a match here against Swazo. playing some B-sad Jun control in Premodern. And our hand has some duress we can play. It has Specter, but it doesn't have double black. We're going to be on the draw. We're going to keep this on the draw. Okay, we draw Urborg Volcano. I think I would like to duress turn 1. What's going on here? Oh my. Gaia's Blessing. Powder Keg. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a fuse counter on this artifact, sack it, destroy each artifact and creature with mana value equals the number of fuse counters on it. Neviniral's Disc. So just like Wraths, Ravenous Baloth, sacrifice a creature, a beast, you gain 4 life. Well, I guess I'll take the Powder Keg. But, like, if you're in a game of Standard and, like, your opponent drops a Badger Mole Cub on turn 2, if you don't have an answer for it, like, the damage is kind of already done if they untap with it. Or like a Ragavan in Modern. If your opponent lands that on turn 1 and you don't have an answer for it, you're kind of so far behind that, like, you can't win. But I guess that's supposedly not really the case in this format. So they just use one of their Gaia's Blessings. So I think we're just going to duress them again. Another Powder Keg, Neviniral's Disc, Gaia's Blessing. Well, we'll take the Powder Keg. There's no Quantum Riddlers to be flickered. Yeah, there's no Quantum Riddlers. There's no Ephemerate. I'm just happy to play their Gaia's Blessing. So we know they have a Neviniral's Disc, and I'm not sure what else. So we'll just go Mountain, and we'll play our Hypnotic Specter. Wall of Blossoms. Yeah, Wall of Blossoms is about the most enters value you get in Premodern that I've seen so far. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a really broken Blink deck, but it's not going to be as bad as, you know, Standard or Modern. Okay, I think we will attack with our Specter. What do they discard? They discarded their Ravenous Baloth. They have a Naviniral's Disc in hand. So I think I'll just play this Rashad in Port. Maybe I'll blow up one of their lands. Now, next turn I can... No, you can't Pain and Suffering because they're both sorceries. Unlike like a Wear Tear, which is what I'm used to with these dual cards. So I think we'll just cast Suffering on what? Mishra's Factory or a Forest? Probably Mishra's Factory. Blow up your factory. They do have thawing glaciers. They have another factory. There's Nevinyr's disc. Okay. Attack with our Specter. Then we'll just play a land. We'll get an upkeep stop. Go. So we'll tap one of your forests. Opponent gonna crack the disc. There's the thawing glaciers. Powder keg. Not gonna crack the disc. Okay. Birds. Well, we'll attack with Specter. Wasteland. Okay. Powder keg ticking up. The thing is, they crack their disc, they lose the powder keg. So is this what Premodern is? Like, we've got the Disrupting Scepter Mishra's Factory deck. Is it just, like, sweepers and, like, Mishra's Factories? Yavimaya Elder. Okay. Sure. That's a good card. When it dies, you may search for up to 2 lands. Does shut down our LD plan a bit. Well, let's just wasteland their factory. Attack. Pass. Counter number 2 on their powder keg. Tap one of their forests. It's still not as bad as Beanstalk. Beanstalk. I've forgotten about that card. Did you ever see that card in Modern? Just like, it's incredible what an abomination that was. Okay, Scavenger Folk. And how Wizards ever thought that was like something that was okay. Attack for 2, sure. Wooded Foothills. They discarded their Thawing Glaciers. That's kind of cool. Play Wooded Foothills. Okay, they sack their Yavimaya Elder. Here goes the powder keg. Phyrexian Furnace. Exile the bottom card of target player's library. Oh, right. In Premodern, the order of your graveyard matters. Oh, that exiles the bottom card of the graveyard, yeah. There's cards that care about the order of cards in the graveyard, which is something that is often not cared about very much. Now here, we can't really cast our Argothian Worm. Because we'll get locked if we do. I believe. We can draw it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, we'll cast it. So they can sack a land to have it come, to put it on top of my library. We will not choose to do that. They can do that if they want to. They don't. Okay. So they're just going to crack Navaniral's disc. Larry Niven's disc. They're just going to draw a card with their artifacts. Okay. And they're going to crack the disc. Okay. Sure. Tap one of your forests. We got a Hypnotic Specter. Okay. Black. Black, whatever. Play our Specter. We're going to cycle this land. We actually can't do it this turn because it costs 2. Create a 4/4 beast token. Okay, sure. Opponent attacks for 4. Yep, we'll take it. And nothing? Okay. Lavaborn Muse. Let's attack with our Specter. They discarded Navaniral's disc. Alright, play our Muse. Which will start racking them on their upkeep. Krosan Tusker. When you cycle this card, you may search for a basic land, put it into your Okay, they're just cycling it. Sure. So do they get to draw 2 cards that way? I guess so. Okay. Sure, tap one of your lands. I've been holding on to this polluted mire. I'm gonna take 4. Living Wish. Reveal a creature card you own from outside the game. Put it into your hand. Okay. Spore Frog. Is this gonna be another freaking just turbo fog game? I guess so. Well, they don't have a way to get it back repeatedly, at least. Let's play a bird. And let's attack. Gonna sack some frogs. Yep. Play another bird. So we can block with our birds, at least. This thing doesn't have trample. Block with bird. Phyrexian Furnace. I'm gonna exile the bottom card of my graveyard. Okay, let's cycle this. Let's bolt you. Pillage. Well, I guess I'll just try to win. Attack. Beast attack. They can. It's a instant. Okay. Okay, that's an instant. Good to know. Bolt you? Okay. So, artifacty... green. Terminate. Planar void. Naturalize. More important than terminate. We have, pillages also. They're using their graveyard. Do we want all of our graveyard hate? I think we do. Yep. Do we want Pernicious Deed? I don't think we need Pernicious Deed. I'm going to cut these Argothian worms, or at least, yeah, I'll cut the worms. I don't think these are actually very good. I'll cut one worm. And then 6 non-sideboard cards. Duress, Dark Ritual, Abundance, Pain, Suffering. Maybe we'll just bring in 1 Tormod's Crypt and 2 Planar Voids. 1 Stupor? Let's try this. Alright, this hand looks keepable. We do have a Hypnotic Specter. We even can Rampant Growth for our second black source. We also have a Tormod's Crypt. So we're keeping this. Okay, we're gonna lead on Treetop Village. Powder Keg. We draw Wasteland. Okay. Well, let's play a Wasteland. And let's Rampant Growth. For a Swamp. Pass. They do have this Powder Keg, so I guess there's a question of whether I play this Specter or not. They chose not to put a counter on it, on this. They Wasteland our Treetop Village, okay. Another Powder Keg. Planar Void. Let's play our Specter. Alright, start ticking up 1 Powder Keg and leave the other one. Alright, let's attack with our Specter. They discard a Nevinyrral's Disc. Play our Tranquil Thickets. I think we'll play a Tormod's Crypt. I would kind of like it if they use one of their Powder Kegs on this. They're not going to, though. More Wastelands. They're gonna Wasteland my green source again. Okay. Wing Snare to kill my Specter. Okay. Stupor. Well, we can get your last 2 cards. Play Wasteland. See you go. Stone Rain. Yeah, I mean, it's something we can cast. You have a Maya Elder. Alright, we're gonna bolt that so that they can't draw a card when it dies. They will get to ramp. Can't stop that. Yep, we'll bolt it. So they don't get to draw a card, but they do get 2 lands. Okay, they're sacking their powder keg. In response, we'll crypt you. Alright, play a Void. And a Boyd, I guess. We got nothing else. We don't need this upkeep stop right now. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. Oh, they're lands, though. Another Planar Void. Okay. Is this format just boring? Is this format completely boring? My deck is not very good, that's for sure. So do I want to play this as a red source or cycle it? I want to cycle it. Gets exiled. Lightning Bolt. Opponent has a treetop village. Well, we know what to do with that. We draw an Ebony Tree Folk. Yeah, we'll play it. They can use their powder keg on it. It's a 3/3. Wall Blossoms. Okay. Sure, we'll attack. They block. We grow the thing. They crack the powder keg. Oh my gosh, it's so late. Gaia's blessing. Shuffles back in there. Yavimaya Elder. Wasteland. Stone Rain. Kaboom. Okay, there goes our Wasteland. Mishra's Factory. Kruskin Tusker. When you cycle this card, you may search. They're just casting it. It's an 8/5. Okay. Lavaborn Muse. It doesn't have trample or anything. Play our Muse. Pass. We do rack them for 3. We'll take 8. We draw Mountain. Well, opponent has this 0/4 they can block with, or their Mishra's Factory. So there's no point in attacking. Opponent continues getting racked. Yeah, we'll block with a bird, I guess. Living Wish. Yep. Living Wish and Burning Wish are really popular cards in this format. I guess when you have like a closed card pool. Nantuko Vigilante. Oh, I think that's the 3/2 guy that can flip over. To exile an artifact or enchantment. Isn't it? Yeah. Sure. I got another one. Hypnotic Specter. Alright, we rack our opponent. We take 8. Let's draw a Fireball. Bird. Okay. Let's attack like this. Hailstorm. 2 damage to each attacking and 1 damage to each creature you control. Okay, sure. Bird. Go. All right, they're going to fire up factories. So now I have to block the factory and this thing. Okay, yeah, I have to block like this because they can double pump the factory. Fireball off the top. Navaniral's Disc. Okay. We just draw land. All right. So, yeah, we're not going to finish this game. I got my Terminates in. I don't think I can really do much else. We do have more time than our opponent. We have to mulligan this because it's a one-lander. We'll keep this, and I'll bottom. I'm going to bottom Rampant Growth. We're going to turn 1 birds and then start Stone Raining. All right, Stone Rain. Stone Rain. Stone Rain. All right, opponent's out of lands. Did we jund him out? Naturalize, okay. Plays Hippie. No land. Again. We're going to cycle this Tranquil Thicket. Attack with our Specter. They're discarding Walls of Blossoms. Sure, let's cycle. Play a Wasteland. Alright, attack. Land, go. Tormod's Crypt. Go, go, Hippie. Wasteland. Make him use it. So we do go down a land from this exchange, but it's okay. Llanowar Wastes. Okay. Mishra's Factory. Fireball, that's a good one. Wall of Blossoms. Draws them a card. Bolts. Attack. Another factory. Gonna fire up the factory. Gonna attack. Alright. In response, we'll naturalize the factory. And we'll bolt you. Attack you. And this is game. Because after we do this, fireball you. No. Choose your targets first. Done with targets. Now we pay the mana cost. And there's no free counterspells in this format. GG's. Alright, we finally made someone sad. Okay, so we only got like 2 complete matches, which we lost one and we won one. And then we got the incomplete match at the beginning, which we won technically because our opponent timed out. That's Premodern. I don't know what I feel about it. Yeah, it seems like with creatures being not very good, control really just has like free reign, and I don't know if I like the idea of decks that just play 4 powder kegs, 4 Nabinural's discs, and like miscellaneous control win con or something like that. The games were a little boring. Maybe Premodern was a little too much on the dirtily side for my taste, but that was too small of a sample size to make a real determination. I think that my deck is not very good. I think that trying to go 3 colors is probably just a bad thing to do in Premodern, just because the mana is so difficult. If I were to build this again, I probably would build it just Rakdos, and that would work better. So yeah, I don't think this is a good deck. I do love being able to play Hypnotic Specter. That's really fun. And we did get in some good pillages and stone rains. That was fun. It is cool to me, this card pool. Like Fireball. How can you not like Fireball? Such a classic MTG card. Hypnotic Specter. We got by Disrupting Scepter too. I was talking trash about it at the beginning of the stream. I didn't put it in this deck because I thought it was unplayable, but then we got destroyed by it in that blue-white deck, so yeah, that matchup was a little concerning though, where like because the creatures are so bad, it might be fine to just dirtle, sit on sweepers, and like do what our opponent was doing in that match, just disrupting Scepter your opponent every turn until your Mishra's Factories win the game for you. I'm a little worried that might be a common play pattern, is like sweep, 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 Mishra's Factory to win the game. But, you know, that's what Wasteland is for, I guess. Anyway, too small sample size to make a definite determination. My deck's not very good. I'll play something better next time. But I am going to continue doing Premodern at least another week. So, yeah, I'll be back next week playing another brew of Premodern and do a little research, maybe figure out a better handle of the metagame and get a little more familiar with using tGO again. It's been a while. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching me play some Jund Be Sad control in Premodern. If you did and you like off-meta MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I stream MTG on my Twitch channel every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. There's a link to the Twitch channel in the description if you want to come hang out and take in the action in real time. So I hope you all have a great beginning of your week, and I'll catch you later.